I'd like to open by saying 85% of kids say they learn better in school and can understand things better with a teacher rather than homework. Kids don't try on homework most of the time. The studies say that 67% of students say that they hate homework, and 4 out of 10 times don't try as hard on homework than they do in classwork. Teachers should stop giving homework. In a study, this teacher, she stopped giving her students homework, and her students admitted not trying on homework in previous years and previous classes. And they said that classwork is better, and the students' grades went up and when she stopped giving homework.
Resolved, homework should not be abolished. This quote from Solomon Ortiz says, "Education is the key to success in life, and teachers have a lasting impact in the lives of their students." This comes to show that homework does have a purpose that teachers hand out. This is to improve skills and knowledge for the brighter future. Argument 1. Homework is needed to show personal skill and academic capabilities. On the flip side, it also shows what kids are struggling with. This quote from Anton Chabak says, "Knowledge is of no value unless you put it into practice." Being taught curriculum in class has not really any good without the practice, which is homework.
So, homework stresses kids out. Homework is harder without with the teacher helping them, so it stresses them out, and they can do like homework for hours. And a study that out of 45% of kids that think they can get it done well, and they can't, and when they try to do it at home, they stress out, worry about trying to get it done, so finish the class.
Resolved, homework should not be abolished. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Homework is our education, and education is the most important thing to thrive in. Kids don't always struggle with homework, it takes effort. Most kids who do homework with a laptop or phone do or go on other things that have nothing to do with homework. Kids also put off doing homework till the last minute. That's why they are getting so stressed. Kids spend more than 75 hours each week on media. If we take away homework, those numbers will get bigger.
Resolved, homework should be abolished. I like to open with a quote by William Blake, an English poet. "Think in the morning, act in the noon, eat in the evening, sleep in the night." I believe what he was referring to is that we are supposed to think in the morning at school rather than taking it home with us, and that we are supposed to be active in the afternoon rather than cooped up in a house doing homework, and we are supposed to eat in the evening and to have proper sleep because proper sleep refills our energy. This quote is the truth for many students of America who struggle with the concept of homework, for with it comes the less social and sleepless. For my first argument, I would like to debate how by closing the learning gap with China and India, we create a nation of sleep-deprived children. I know most of us can relate to those days or nights when we've only gotten a few hours of sleep because we've been doing homework all night, and that creates bad sleep habits if done regularly. This can lead to yawning uncontrollably, depression, headaches, and then so we don't focus in school. Although some schools are developing minute rules, like the National Education Association has adapted the 10-minute rule, so seniors have only 2 hours of homework, or St. Joe's in Downingtown, Philadelphia is adapting the 30-minute rule so that seniors have 3 hours of homework. So we need our sleep because sleep replenishes our energy and improves our morning performance, and we listen better in the morning to comprehend lessons. We need 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Anything under that is depriving us of our ability to think. 1 in 5 high school students have 6 or less hours of sleep per night. 82% of middle and high school students wake up unrefreshed in the morning, according to Student Pulse. For my second argument, I believe that homework deprives students of socialization, extracurricular activities, and hobbies that they enjoy. Stanford studies show that sports or hobbies are dropped by students to make time for nightly homework. And according to Harvard, they miss social skills and they don't become a well-rounded individual because they don't have the social skills that is needed. And at this age, we're supposed to encourage kids to compete in extracurricular activities and to socialize with people their own age, rather than being inside doing something they would rather not. Most of us can relate to those times when we have had withdrawals from social media and activities with friends. And so some of us may rebel against learning and ultimately not do the homework. And then this may affect our academics, so we don't do as good as school because we're not giving our 100% effort. Also, if we abolish homework, students will have time to pursue their talents and develop people's skills. Thank you.
Resolved, homework should not be abolished. Homework has been around for generations. It's a part of the everyday school experience. Principal Nick Cataloff of Roslyn Schools said, "I think homework gives kids an opportunity to practice what they have learned in school. Not only does it give them practice, that helps, but it holds the key to all kinds of information. You want your kids to have the best education they can have, and homework can give it to them." Argument 1. Homework helps teachers and parents keep up with students academically. Former teacher and parent of a struggling student, David McLeod, said, "If it wasn't for homework, my wife and I wouldn't have known what our son was working on in school." Also, Prince Nick Cataloff said, "Homework is a good way for teachers to see where students are academically. With this information, parents and teachers from there then can take and adjust the way kids learn. They can either put them in a slower class or in a faster paced class, get them a tutor, or if it's the parents working with the students more, that helps." Argument 2 is homework teaches good life skills. Ann Heffern, principal of Marion Elementary, said, "We're trying to build habits with kids and get children into a pattern of being independent, taking responsibility, and developing organization skills. Homework offers more than meets the eye. It has a helpful potential, and if a student uses it, then not only are they using it to their advantage, they are also building some character along the way."
Okay, we've heard all the first arguments, so at this time you're going to have a minute to discuss your rebuttal and closing.
How long have they been working on this? Yeah. Yeah.
These guys judge the systematic unit. Even when it's close, they judge really closely, like it's eyes. I like this better.
Yeah.
They're actually paying attention.
And not just voting for their friends.
All right, time is up. We're going to start with the Con side first. So Con, you may give your first rebuttal. And so you're doing rebuttal and closing. All right? Audience, pay attention.
Okay. My opponent said that homework causes taking away time from my family and sleeping. But I think that if kids were to use their time more wisely, the amount of homework that they would have would decrease. And then my closing, Resolved, homework should not be abolished. Do you think that after one basketball practice that LeBron James became the basketball player he is? No. Without practice, you can't get better. That's why homework should not be abolished. It's a practice to a brighter future.
Well, I'm just going back to saying that students are like more stressed because we waste time a lot, and students even say that they do. And so when we get stressed, then we don't want to do homework and we're like mad, or our parents will like push it on us. And then when they push it on us, then we just get mad at them, and then it starts just fighting and arguing. And then my closing is same things, that students just get stressed.
My opponent said stuff about getting stressed and wasting time. Well, you're not going to get stressed if you don't waste time. Half the homework that we get in school is not even that hard, and we have half the class to work on it. For my closing, we can't take away homework because it's a part of our education system. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Meaning getting your education is hard, but when you work hard to get the education you receive can help you in life.
And my rebuttal is that, like what they said, is that when they have like, it focuses on school, and they do it at home, but sometimes if your parents don't know how to do it at home, so then the teacher knows how to do it and help you, and then you get stressed, then don't do it. So, and my closing is that homework should be abolished so kids don't like worry and get a bad grade, and then like, because when you go home it's for like family time, not just to do homework all night.
Going back to what my opponent says about homework being more time consuming and stressful, but really I think that you need to learn time management. When you first get homework, you should go home and figure out a time when you can do it. You may have extracurricular activities, but that doesn't mean you can wait last minute to do your homework. Rosalind Kataloff said, "I do feel like the priority for children has to be education. Having too many things on your plate can make things stressful. Not only that, but sports and extracurricular activities are only for a little while, when your education is forever." Closing. Homework shouldn't be abolished. Homework is part of the everyday school experience. You want to give students the very best education they can have. It's been around for generations, and it's a tool, not a burden. We need to start thinking of it like that.
Although my opponent may say that homework is part of the school experience, I disagree. You can do things in class that you don't have to take home. I believe that teachers should interact more with their students and maximize their time with their students in school, because students have 7 to 8 hours of school time a day, except on weekends, and they don't want to take that home with them because they have other things better to do than to do that. That's why they can assign assignments in class to finish in this class, or they can continue working on it next class rather than taking it home. And what if a student needs further understanding on the material and the teacher's not there to help them, or older siblings or friends can't? So I believe that they should leave it in school so that way they can get the proper help, because if they don't give their 100% effort, then their academics fail. Homework should be abolished. Kids need time to develop in other ways, like in extracurricular activities, when actively socializing with other people their own age, rather than staying up late trying to finish homework. Teachers can also benefit from this because they don't have to come up with assignments that they have to do outside of class. They can come up and creatively do things in class that can encourage kids to learn more. And so they can have more time to spend with their families and do what they want. Although I realize arguments don't apply to everybody. I believe that most, if not all of us, can relate though. I like to end with a quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist, cosmetologist, author, and science communicator. He said, "I don't know anybody who said, love that teacher, he or she gave a really good homework set, or boy, that was the best class I ever took because those exams were awesome. That's not what people want to talk about. It's not what people in one profession or another.